Well, right now everything is very precariously stacked together. In fact, I gotta be really careful not to knock everything over here. But I've been doing some thinking about, when it comes time to actually fastening these all together. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it's not going to be a problem fastening the bottom because I can drill holes from the bottom that aren't going to be seen anyway, because they're going to be on the bottom. But as I mentioned, I can't drill holes from the top because they'll be seen. And I was thinking of using little dowels and stuff like that, but I got to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned. But I all of a sudden had a thought. Why don't I just run this whole thing through the bandsaw and just rip it, right along, say, a line like right here. Sort of a natural separation anyway. Then I could take this top half off, drill holes in this little section here, fasten this down to all the vertical pieces with screws, and then glue this to this. And then of course just carefully sand it and hopefully it wouldn't show. Now, one of the things I thought of when I first thought of doing this was, well, why didn't I just use two pieces of 1x6 to start with and laminate them together? And then I thought, well, no, that wouldn't have worked because the grain here would not match the grain here. I think I'm going to probably make the cut right there. This is 120 grit. It's the finest I've got that'll fit this machine. Now, most of these pieces are already in pretty nice shape. They were sanded when I bought it. At least they called it sanded, and they feel pretty good. There's the odd little place that I have to maybe sand it smooth. But one thing's for sure, I only want to sand it smooth. I don't want to sand it down, or I'm going to lose the profiling here. That feels really nice. Now here's something that's really annoying. See these blotchy marks? They're caused by these rubber pads. Now, I don't know if it's some chemical or oil or something getting squeezed out of the rubber, or if it's something coming out of the wood. But when you buy top quality clamps like this, you don't expect this sort of thing to happen. But I'm getting it anyway. I get it every time. Well, you can see now those blotchy marks are sanded away. I probably only lost maybe 1/100th of an inch to do that. And this is nice and smooth. Now there's something that I found with this machine, and that is when you get it down to the place where it first starts feeling smooth, stop. Don't try to go any further. Because you're holding it by hand, it's quite easy to, sand off too much or sand it unevenly. It's not like this one here, where you can micro adjust it just right and it keeps everything perfectly flat. So if you're getting yourself a machine like this, do some experimenting on scrap wood before you start on the expensive oak. Well, everything's sanded down nice and flat. I think I'm done with this machine now. I think everything else I have to do by hand. When I made this downdraft sanding box, I made it too small. I should have made it a little bigger. But if memory serves, what happened was I made it out of stuff that I had on hand. And if I had gone to the lumber store and spent an extra 20 bucks, I could have made it twice as big. And it'd be a little bit more useful for big stuff. But for small stuff, which is mostly what I do, it's okay. Well, the edge sander took it down to 120. So what we'll do is we'll continue on here with 220. Isn't that slick? Made it myself. All the pieces now are sanded down to what you might describe as a mirror smooth finish. All the major pieces, that is, except for the back. The back I'm going to do last, after I get it cut to size and the edges beveled. So, all being well, tomorrow I'll be trying to rip this top here and put a little bit of stain on. We're getting closer, folks.